Let's talk more about this struggle for democracy in Nigeria that has led to where we are today. I have joining me the author of Democracy, An Untold Story of June 12, Abiola Aboderi. Good to have you join us, Mr. Aboderi. Let me just say that he's joining us via phone. This particular struggle actually started as a struggle to actualize the mandate of MKO Abiola, which was truncated by the military government. When you look at, as you did the research for your work, how would you say that that particular struggle has shaped the democracy of our nation?
The June is the watershed in the history of Nigeria. It's historical. It was unique. It says that it was the fairest election in the history of Nigeria. And I think that every night we should strive to emulate June 12 in our elections, 3 fair elections. And then we should put aside the ethnicity, region, and the other differences that we have. We have a great nation, great people, the resources. We need to work together. That's very essential. And we must love Nigeria and stop corruption. We must put Nigeria first. People must stop taking out so much money, because the American said in the history of mankind, there's no a place whereby people waste resources. And it's never too late for us to start loving Nigeria, because we have children who are dynamic also, who are well out of Nigeria. We have to keep the corruption down, so as we can create jobs for this dynamic young people that we have in this nation.
I want to stay on the point you're making, because the president today in his speech did say that, look, we shouldn't take what we have now, which is our democracy, for granted. And when you look at what's happening in countries like Sudan today, and that's happening because of the coup in that country, one wonders if we are in the clear, because we seem to think that we have it all together as a country. But do you think that in terms of our democracy, we have gotten it all together and that we are in the clear?
I think, as far as I'm concerned, I think we're moving forward. I think that it might not be as clear as usual, but judging by the results, I see that it looks to me like a fair election, because the president now lost his state, Lagos State. The president before lost his state, Katsina State. The chairman of the party lost. Also, NFI lost Kaduna. So I feel that if somebody wants to win the election, definitely we don't lose the state. Also, you can see that the election they did last was the governor election, and also election for National Assembly, which APC won. So to my view, I think it's okay election, but of course in everything in life, some people have to disagree, but we must disagree to agree. We are one people, one nation. Whatever happens, we can argue among themselves, but we should not carry it further, because we have a lot at stake. We have to represent the entire black nation.
And, I guess it will also require that we also need to commend the military, because, with incessant calls recently, especially after the election, people said, oh, look, military should take over. We've seen how they have played the role of defending democracy in the last few years. But what more can we do as a country to solidify this particular democracy? Because there are talks about marginalization. We've seen protests. We've seen people who say, look, we've seen calls for secession as well. What more can we do to ensure, especially from the government end, to ensure that, look, like the president said, we do not take our democracy for granted?
Well, nothing good comes easy, but I tell you that we have a lot to do. First of all, like I said before, we must love Nigeria. Nigeria must come first before everything else. Apart from God, then Nigeria. Because God himself gave us all the resources, natural resources, also give us dynamic people all over the world who are making waves all over the world. We must know that there's a reason for God to give us everything, the resources and manpower, to be able to lead the black world. Look at China. Can you see what China is doing now? That's what Japan did before. South Korea, they're all doing well.
All right.
We must put aside all these differences we have and work as a nation. And let us create jobs. We have the capacity to create jobs. And corruption must be eradicated to the barest minimum.
Absolutely. It will take concerted effort, whether from both the government and citizens as well. Thank you so much for talking to us. Author of Democracy, an Untold Story of June 12, Abiola Boderi.